What's going on, everybody? Non here, and today we're going to talk about Final Fantasy. We've spent enough time talking about Magic the last couple days. We're through the Destiny Rivals release. Yeah, it's been a super interesting set between lack of supply and TCG player, and we've sold out in the shop. We have people driving from all over the place because nobody has it. A lot of the small stores, got cut allocations, didn't get a whole lot of product. Um, I don't know if those of you who saw. Think it was Safari Zone put out a video the other day showing a quote from a second tier distributor, I believe, on the West Coast, with some pricing for product that was pretty pricey. Um, I had not heard about any distributors coming uh, to anybody with aftermarket pricing until today. We had one distributor reach out to us, and I was pleasantly surprised at the pricing. Now, it wasn't sub $100 a box, but it was something that was workable. So, kudos to those guys. I think what we've seen with the big players in the last week or two, with the feigned rage over um, uh, no longer pre-selling black and white because people can't control themselves with the quantities and this and that. They're just trying to create FOMO, and they're trying to make everybody else out to be the bad guy, that they're the good guys providing the product. It's all bullshit. It's absolutely all bullshit. Cherry picking data. Um, the market's going to market. If you can get it for MSRP by buying direct from retail, you should do it. It's a fantastic idea. But anyway, Destiny Rivals is dead and gone. We'll have plenty of time to talk about black and white and those allocations, which, by the way, the big stores are all complaining. I'm thrilled. I have so much more product coming than what I got for Prismatic Evolutions. I couldn't be happier. Now it's a lot of hard work and nice little community who buys stuff, but you're not going to hear any complaining from me. So, moving on to Final Fantasy, the most significant Magic the Gathering set ever released. So, I grew up playing Final Fantasy. I love the game. I actually remember buying the Nintendo version at KB Toy Stores when I was like 8 years old, dating myself a little bit. Um, but I'm pretty sure there's still KB Toy Stores in Australia or New Zealand. For whatever reason, like those old defunct US stores, just they have 9 lives there. It's weird. But let's talk about the product, and we're going to see a weird dynamic here. So, distribution is sold out of everything. The collector commanders are delayed. I believe they're coming. Well, let's take a step back. So initially, everything was coming in a pre-release wave as what we normally see, and then there's generally a second wave that comes a week or two after the pre-release. So effectively, in this scenario, it would be a week after this Friday. So call it, or 2 weeks after this Friday. So call it, the 18th, 19th, what 20th, I guess, is the Friday after release. Here, what happened was they've truncated and split kind of the delivery into what was initially 2 waves. Now there's 3 waves. So we received our first wave over the last couple of days. It's about 75% of our play boosters. We've gotten our commander decks. We've gotten our bundles and our pre-release kits, and the starter items. Wave 2 is the remaining 25% of the initial allocation for play boxes and the collector commanders. Now remember, the gift bundle, is it gift bundle? Yeah, it's called the gift bundle right here with that is great art. These were pushed to the end of June, so we're not going to see these anytime soon. So these were pushed out, but the collector commanders are coming with the second wave, which I think kind of surprised everybody, which is quite honestly is awesome. And then the third wave, which is going to come probably next week, is kind of like the second tier orders of play boosters. We went in big-ish, and then once we saw everything start to build, this was a month plus ago, we started really increasing the orders and locking in some product. And in those larger orders, a big chunk of those is coming in wave 3. And that seems to be the way it is across all of distribution, across the board. So what's going to be interesting here is that with play boxes effectively sold out everywhere. Now people are selling them here for $190 on TCG Player, but a lot of the local boxes, they're going to sell super fast. I mean, these are the only affordable items out there. They're going to be limited by store. I know a lot of the play boxes were allocated. Now, I didn't get allocated. I just got split across bundles, but I did have my orders cut off about 3 weeks ago where I wasn't allowed to order anymore. Now, I don't know if that was the case for the bigger stores. Don't know. Quite honestly, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. Hopefully, they got more. Good for them. So the play boxes, they're going to get churned up probably this weekend, next weekend, and there's going to be nothing out there. Now, what I fully expect is 2 weeks from now, there to be a massive amount of product begin to move from WotC to distribution and have a second wave come in. Hopefully it's a pre-release pricing and they don't decide to sell these at like $140. I've never seen that before with play boosters, quite honestly, while they're still in print. Now, granted, that's a small amount of time, but I would imagine there's going to be a second wave coming in 3 weeks where this will be a restock, and this price will probably come. I shouldn't say will probably come down because all of this product could get churned and chewed up very, very quickly. So I don't really know what to think. The commander decks, they're sold out everywhere. Now, there's a little bit of a race to the bottom. There's like 4 players that are trying to pre-sell singles and front run margin, and they keep undercutting each other, but it's not like by a penny. It's by like 25%. So it'll be interesting to see where the EV settles out on these. I think they're still pushing like $700-800 on a set that from distributions like $170 or so. But here, I mean, the collector displays are still selling for, it's not on this page. Oh, there you go. I'm blind. Still selling for $375, which is a healthy price, and it's actually not a bad price to buy at, quite honestly, especially if you're going to play the decks. So moving on, we talked about the gift bundles pushing out. The regular bundles, these should be fine. The pre-release should be fine. The starter kit should be fine. It'll be interesting to see if the starter kits hold any value because they've continued to say that they're going to print those to the ground, and I fully intend for that to happen. The question is at what point are they going to migrate from printing as much Final Fantasy as they can to start printing as much Spider-Man as they can up front, knowing that the demand is probably going to be, within a standard deviation of what we're seeing here. I don't know that it's going to be more, but I don't know that it's going to be materially less. What I do want to mention is that I was told over the last couple of days that play boxes for Edge of Eternities may be allocated. And I think that's just because distribution's head shy because they allowed so many big orders of Final Fantasy. And then all of a sudden they got cut by Hasbro again, presumably because they held some product back to sell on Amazon. It is the last month of Q2. So those Amazon dumps are going to happen. But we'll see. But what I want to talk about is the collector commanders and the collector boxes. So the collector boxes, and we don't have to talk about the Japanese ones too much. I did see the Black Chocobo get pulled, which is really, really cool. It was MTG North, I think I saw it on. It's a bunch of Canucks. They're super entertaining, and they just rip Magic cards. I don't know if I think it's a rip and ship or box breaks or something. But on TCG Player, the green Chocobo, which I don't know if there's different rarities like they were with the Neon Ink in Kamigawa. But 2 copies have sold for $1,700 already, which is absolutely crazy. So if that's the case, I mean, these Japanese boxes are going to be, they're going to be absolutely nuts. A lot of folks don't think there's much in here, but if the Black Chocobo happens to be twice the pull rate, if there's some other cool stuff in here, I can't imagine they would make a Japanese print product to sell in the US and not make it special, like impair it based on the regular ones. I don't know. But for the regular collector boxes and the collector commanders, I just want everybody to keep in mind. So in the Pokemon world, we just went through Prismatic Evolutions in the end of January. And with Prismatic Evolutions, the product came out, specifically the Elite Trainer boxes. So we're going to take the Elite Trainer boxes. We're going to compare them to the Collector Commanders. We're going to compare them to the Collector boxes. They came out at effectively 2.5 times MSRP. However, all of your big box stores, plus your Amazon, so Amazon, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, GameStop, all sold these at $50 or $55. But on the open market, when the set released, they were selling for 150. Then they dropped down to 110. Then they moved up to 130, and then we've been getting reprints ever since. So it's sitting between 115 and 125. But what we saw was the behavior keeping the price of that product down was there were so many tens of thousands of boxes and hundreds of thousands of boxes from scalpers. And by scalpers, I just mean some random schmuck buying stuff, whether it's botted, not botted, doesn't really matter, off of these sites for MSRP and coming to TCG Player and dumping them to try to make a quick buck. And you can tell those folks because it's a relatively new account. There's not a whole lot of feedback, not a whole lot of sales in the last 30 months. I mean, now they might have 10,000 sales in the last 30 months because there's so much shit you can do this with. But what is going to create a significant opportunity here, and we've already posted a buy list on the non-TCG Discord of regular collector boxes for $600 and the regular collector commanders for $800. Feel free to join the Discord, reach out if you have lots of them. You will have to ship to me first. I will send you a wire or Venmo or Zelle, whatever you prefer, the second I have them. Looking for good amount. We'll just put it at that. But the prices of these is probably gonna stagnate a little bit until that volume is worked through. The same with the collector commanders. In fact, the collector commanders are probably going to have more of an impact because there's just going to be less demand based on the price point. It's a little bit of a niche product. But what's interesting, and this is why I kind of emphasized the fact that collector commanders are shipping with Wave 2, the pre-release date, the shipping date on Amazon isn't always at release. It's not always before release. It's not like buying from us where we have the product now. We're WPN. We'll make sure that you have it on, what is the 13th, I think? Make sure you have it on or before the 3rd or on the 13th, effectively. So everything's legal. Everything's by the book on the up and up. A lot of times Amazon's shipping stuff a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. And that's just because they don't have the product or, some unknown reason. So if the Amazon shipments for collector boxes and the collector commanders are delayed, these boxes could see $800-900 before anybody from Amazon gets their product. If those products are shipped on time or a day or two early, the collector boxes could see $600, with a lot of folks just kind of racing to zero. Now, do I think it's going to go that low? Probably not. Will it touch $650? It could, but at $650, I mean, it's an absolutely amazing price. And, why pay 13% if you can sell them to me? That's a different conversation. But I just want everybody to know that in spite of the fact that the box prices are expensive, there is most likely going to be a dip at release. Call it next Thursday, next Friday, not this week, next week, where a lot of those random people who bought stuff from Amazon and wherever, they have credit card debt. And their credit cards are loaded up with stuff that they're going to make money on. They're going to try to dump it because they're going to need liquidity. And that's where you need to take advantage of buying the product, use your 3%, whatever on here, buy them on eBay, wherever you can get the best price. But from my perspective, there's a tight window that could be 2 hours, 2 days, or 2 weeks to buy those. And we're never going to see those prices again on these specific products. Now on play boxes again, I think all bets are off. I could see play boxes going to $250 and then a second wave coming out and then just people just all over it and having a scenario similar to what we saw with Pokemon where, the hype just drives more hype and more hype and more hype. And then people get that price memory in their head that, oh yeah, this is worth such and such, dollars per box. And then it comes in for, 10-20% lower, and then people just buy it like it's going out of style because they think it's free money. We could see that for the first time ever with play boosters if they can't get the product out quickly enough. Now, what's going to happen with singles? It's probably going to be a race to zero on all these. It's going to depend on the pull rates and things like that. It is a pretty large set, but we'll see. You have a couple different chases. The chocobos are awesome. The serialized chocobo in my world doesn't even exist because the odds of me ever getting one are zero. But um, the neon ink ones are cool. I think the surge foils are cool. All these sets are awesome. I mean, it just makes me want to go back and turn on like Final Fantasy 1, 2, or 3, and just like listen to the music and you know crack a beer and just just grind for a couple hours. But it's nostalgia. So just quick second show. So through our Discord sub, it's $14.99 a month. We offered Final Fantasy Play Boosters. We sold half cases, which we're not going to do for Edge of Eternities, but since Final Fantasy is a little bit of a bigger price point, we sold those, and we sold full cases for $840, so $140 a box equivalent that shipped all in, double boxed. We don't make any money off of them. It's just it's a thank you to our supporters, and what we're doing for Edge of Eternities is we're offering $5.99.99 cases. Again, shipped double boxed. You don't have to order them now. You can order them whenever, up until release date, until we're out of them. We're limiting it to 5 cases per person. So we're highly confident we're going to have a bunch coming. And I think we're going to run a promo. I don't know yet, but I think we're going to offer for any new sub, if you buy a case, you buy 5 cases, whatever. But if you buy one, we're going to send a little thank you, which is going to be a Final Fantasy playmat. And we'll get pictures and video of those coming out soon. But we think that's a nice little thank you, especially as we get into the next week or two, get through the release of Final Fantasy, start looking at Edge of Eternities, but also, using the nostalgia of Final Fantasy and just giving everybody a really, really cool playmat. So anyway, guys, these are my thoughts on Final Fantasy. Hopefully you enjoy them. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord again if you want to join. $14.99 a month, and you'll get the coupons. We run a coupon system. That way we can control the sales on Shopify. But you'll get a coupon for 5 charges of $5.99.99 sealed cases of Edge of Eternities that we will ship, have at your door right by release. So anyway, guys, have a great night.